What up, you fluffy bastards? My name is Liquid Blitz, and very recently the Sanhok map was finally released in PUBG, and with it comes a brand new weapon, the QBZ-95. It's an assault rifle and it's only available on Sanhok, in place of the Scar, which they actually removed from that map. So the only question that really matters now is, how good is the QBZ? Well, that's what this video's for. We are going to completely break it down and see how good it is in comparison to all the other assault rifles. Before we break it down, I just want to quickly advertise the fact that I live stream almost every single day, usually playing PUBG, but some other games as well, but I only stream on Twitch. I don't stream on YouTube, so if you want to see this sexy beard live, you're going to have to go follow me over on Twitch. There's a link in the description. Anyway, let's break the QBZ down hardcore. First, we're going to take a look at the stats, and then we're going to take a look at the recoil. Now, I've gone ahead and listed every assault rifle stats, as you can see, including the Scar, even though that's not on the Sanhok map, just so we have a clear idea of where the QBZ actually sort of fits in. Well, it's a 5.56 rifle, so it does 43 base damage, just like all the 5.56 assault rifles, and it has 3 attachment slots, the exact same as the Scar. It has a velocity of 870, which for the 5.56 rifles is actually joint worst, but only just. It's still way better than the AK for bullet speed. Anyway, next up is rate of fire, or fire rate. Now, a lot of people, especially on Reddit, have been commenting that the QBZ has an insanely fast rate of fire, which is straight up incorrect. Officially, it shoots 650 rounds per minute, which is just faster than the Scar that it replaced on Sanhok, and it's a bit faster than the AK. But it's slower than everything else. Most noticeably, its main competitor, the M416, is considerably faster, and that's a big deal. Want proof? Here's proof right now on the screen. I've put the M416 on the left, the QBZ in the middle, and just for sort of completion's sake, I've put the AK in there as well on the right. Now, as you can see there, when the M416 fires empty, the QBZ still has 3 rounds left, and the AK has 5. So the QBZ's fire rate is sort of exactly halfway between the AK and the M4. Anyway, back to the stats. If there's one gun the QBZ is sort of directly competing with, it's the M416, and so far, the M4 has a higher velocity and a faster fire rate. Now, as for the mag size, the QBZ is the same mag size as all the other assault rifles. It's 30 and 40 when extended. And the last stat on that list, I've actually worked out myself. I literally brought out the calculator. It's damage per second. This stat's only really important for sort of close range where you land most of your shots. Now, again, the QBZ ain't looking great, to be honest. It actually deals the second lowest damage per second, only just better than the Scar, but remember, it's replaced the Scar on Sanhok, so on the new map, the QBZ actually has the lowest damage per second. So far, the brand new shiny QBZ is not looking like the best option to keep it 100. I mean, stats-wise at least, the M416 seems to be better in every way. But in PUBG, stats are just one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is recoil. A really good, tidy recoil can make a weapon with weaker stats a better overall weapon than a weapon with awesome stats. No point having really awesome stats if the recoil's through the roof. So let's do a good old-fashioned recoil comparison. I'm just going to run these tests sort of in the background while I talk. I'm only really including them so that you know I didn't make them up. I decided to compare the QBZ's recoil with no attachments, that's important, and only to the 2 most relevant rifles, the M416 and the AKM, because these are the other fully automatic assault rifles found in the world. Now, right off the bat, you can see the AK has way more vertical recoil than both the QBZ and the M416, which comes as no surprise at all. Now, it's very, very close, but as you can just about make out, the M416 has a slightly better vertical recoil than the QBZ, so that's another win for the M4. But I mean, to be honest, come on, the vertical recoil is pretty damned close between the two. Now, as for the horizontal recoil, that's a bit harder to sort of suss out, that the QBZ seems pretty straight. Now, if you look really closely, if you disregard that one line of recoil on the right for the QBZ, all the others, the horizontal recoil actually looks very good, especially for the first, say, sort of 10 or 12 rounds. But yeah, overall, I'd say the horizontal recoil between all 3 of those weapons is actually pretty damn close. I expected a bigger difference, to be honest, especially from the AK. Anyway, so that gives you some idea of the recoil, so let's move on. This time round, I haven't done this in the past for previous videos, but this time round I decided to compare the recoil when I try to control it. Now, this is clearly sort of heavily biased and untrustworthy because it's dependent on my personal skill, but also keep in mind that this is with no attachments, so the recoil was unruly. Regardless, in the end, I circled the total area of 90 shots, 3 full clips for each of the 3 weapons. Now, as you can see, the AK was the hardest to control. Again, that ain't no surprise. As for the QBZ, it's actually looking pretty damn good. Again, really close between the QBZ and the M416. So basically, the QBZ and the M416 are clearly very similar in terms of the recoil. I mean, nigh on identical. So after all this, all the testing, all the playing the new map, I've got to be honest and conclude that overall, the M416 still has a slight edge over the new QBZ. First of all, like we just discussed, the recoil feels basically the same, but evidence does show that the QBZ is slightly worse. On top of that, they can both equip a barrel attachment and a grip attachment, so the attachments that affect accuracy won't make any difference in determining which is better, QBZ or the M416. With one exception, and this does make a difference, the M4 can of course equip the stock, which speeds up recoil recovery and also reduces the amount of visual animation kick when you're firing the rifle. This means that when you do equip the tactical stock, the M4 becomes better than the QBZ at long range when you're tap firing, because the recoil comes back down faster after each shot. So, fully tooled up, the M416 does outperform the QBZ, unfortunately. But then on top of that, you've got the stats. The QBZ's lower velocity means you've got to lead your target slightly further, only slightly, but you know, any difference is still a difference. And because the QBZ's rate of fire is lower, it straight up does less damage per second than the M416. So that's it for this video. My final conclusion is the QBZ is generally a good, well-balanced weapon, but much like the SCAR, it gets outperformed by the M416 when you get all the attachments. And on top of that, at very close range when you tend to land most of your shots, it also gets totally outdamaged by the AK as well. So, it's well balanced, it's good, but it's not the best at any particular job. Hope you found this useful or interesting. Like this video if you liked it, like this video if you didn't like it, and subscribe if you want to see more similar content. Liquid Blitz, out!